Update. I, 42 male, think my wife, 40 female, might be cheating. Original post. I have recently been starting to wonder if my wife might be cheating, but I'm not sure what to do from here. I have no smoking gun for evidence, so I don't want to confront her or bring it up in case nothing is happening, or to have her cover things up. It has just been small things and a spidey sense. About 4 months ago, she started working out a lot more and became much more interested in how she looks. She is very attractive, but never really wore much makeup or did much with her hair. She has also started being protective with her phone, which I know is a bad sign. It is normal for us to go into each other's phone, but now it never leaves her side. And if I ask her for it to take a picture or something, she will tell me to use mine. She has been staying late at work more often and has been taking a few more out-of-town trips for work. In the last 4 months, she hasn't initiated any kind of intimacy and only gives me pecking type of kisses. I tried to initiate with her a handful of times and she rejected me a few times, and a few times she let me go through with it, but wasn't engaged and just laid there. It made me feel really bad, worse than getting rejected outright. I brought up a lack of intimacy a while back and she said that she was exhausted all the time from being a mum, work and lifting weights. She said that she would try to do a better job and kiss me later that night, but nothing has changed. I have wondered if it might be some kind of midlife crisis kind of thing. There is a guy at her work that I'm thinking could be trouble. My wife used to talk about him a lot, but a few months ago she quit mentioning him. But I know they still work closely together. From what I can gather, he is married with kids and told my wife that he is having marital issues. I met him briefly a few times and he basically ignored me. We were around a lot of other people. He isn't nearly as attractive as me and definitely not in great shape like me. Not to brag, but it's true. I am big and strong, and he is kind of average and a little overweight, but he dresses flashy and is outgoing and likes to drink. I don't really like drinking, and my wife has mentioned a few times that she wished I would go out drinking every now and then. I graduated high school and he has a master's degree. He also makes a lot more money than I do. I train fighters and love what I do, but I make a very modest living. This guy probably makes times 6 what I do and flaunts what he has. I just bring up all that as my assessment of how we differ. The biggest thing that I have been wondering about is that this last trip for work was at a tropical resort type of place, and my understanding at the time was that there were a big group of them going. It turns out that it was just my wife, the flashy guy, and the CEO. The CEO is very old and doesn't really interact socially. He's just all business. In my imagination, my wife and this other guy spent a lot of time together over that week doing who knows what. My dilemma is that I want to see if my gut feeling is right, but I don't want to cause a bigger issue by accusing her and asking. We have had a few ups and downs over the years, but I've had a pretty good overall marriage from my side. No major issues or anything. I'm not the most outgoing guy and I don't make much money, which has been a small issue for my wife. She says I'm not living up to my potential and I could make a lot more money doing something else. I don't want to make it sound like she is obsessed with money in any way, but I know women are more comfortable with a bigger nest egg. She thinks I can do other things, but I am not really qualified for anything other than fighting or training fighters. That's basically been my entire life, or possibly being a personal trainer. None of those things are big money makers. But other than those things, she seems pretty happy. A friend of mine said I should keep my suspicions to myself and start doing things to spy and collect evidence if it's there. But I feel weird about violating her privacy. If she is cheating, I can't imagine I would ever stay with her. I hope I am wrong about all of this, but thoughts of her cheating are starting to flood my mind, and I feel like I need to find out either way. We have 2 kids, and that is the part that scares me. I am involved in every part of my kids' lives, and my heart would be broken to only see them half the time. Sorry for the long post. I would love to hear some ideas on how to deal with this. Now for the updates. Update 1. So here is the newest information. I was able to get the login information for our cell phone account. She uses her phone a lot for work and nothing looked weird until I started sorting the numbers and times. There were a ton of texts to one specific number at times, very late at night, a few hours after we go to bed. I am going to see whose number that belongs to and find a way to get into her phone and see what name it is saved under. After I saw this, I started to get emotional and angry. I tried to tell myself it could be a mistake or some girlfriend of hers. Last night I tried to initiate, expecting to be rejected, and rejected I was. She said she was sorry, but was too tired and had a headache. I told her that I was feeling like we weren't connecting very well. She said she is sorry and will try to be better. She said that last time. I didn't push the issue or anything, just told her good night and went to bed. This morning, she told me she was thinking about a girls' trip to Vegas. She doesn't gamble. I asked who she would go with, and it was a few girls I never met, apparently friends from college. Maybe all this is a coincidence, but a lot of stuff is looking weird. I finally did some snooping and looked at the detailed cell phone records online. I noticed that there were texts to one number that were made in the middle of the night. They were in the hundreds. I called the number from a payphone and it went to one of her co-workers, the one I thought could be trouble. I was able to get her phone while she was in the shower, and the text conversation was the one thing deleted. Also, that guy's number was saved in her phone and a female's name. I am now very worried about the out-of-town trips that she was on, where this guy was with her. I had to leave the house and cool off. I was able to get it together enough to come home, but don't know what to do from here. If I confront her with what I have, she will probably explain it away. I don't know if I should try to keep it quiet and get more evidence, or if I should come out with it sooner. I am really angry. I am furious at her, but also wanting to go after the guy. It will take everything I have to not do that. I am worried that she will admit to inappropriate flirting, and I won't have enough evidence to get her to admit it all. Any advice on when to confront her? I'm going to stay awake during the time she texts him and then interrupt her and ask her who she is texting. See if she lies to me. Update 2. I laid in wait last night. After everybody went to bed, I pretended to be asleep and waited to see if she got out of bed to get on her phone. Sure enough, she gets up a little after midnight and goes into another room and closes the door. I wait a few minutes and I got up and quickly opened the door and walked up to her and said I couldn't sleep and asked what she was doing. I caught her mid-text and was standing over her too fast for her to delete anything. I watched her hand as she slowly tried to tuck the phone away. She said she couldn't sleep either and was texting a girlfriend. I had a plan and went into it. I got on top of her and started kissing her and asked if she wanted to fool around. As I expected, she said she couldn't. So I started laughing and tickling her. I made a comment that she must be more into the girlfriend that she was texting than me. Then I started to playfully wrestle with her and got the phone. I could see the panic in her eyes. She tried to get it back from me, but I turned away and held it in the air like I was playing keep away. I was laughing and acting like I was having fun the entire time. I told her that I was going to call this girlfriend and ask if she was into my wife. My wife yelled out, "Please, don't call her." I started walking away and pulled up the text messages, and I saw one that said, "Can't wait to see you tomorrow." I pressed the call feature and it seemed like it took forever. But sure enough, the guy answered. I hadn't planned out what to say, so I just hung up. Then I started reading through the text in front of my wife. I asked her if she thought her girlfriend answered or a guy. She didn't say anything. Then I started reading off the text out loud and asked her why she was sending this to a guy at night. She said she didn't know. I asked her if she needed to tell me anything. She was quiet. Then I told her that I had looked at the cell phone records and knew everything. I knew when she would wake up to text this guy and that I knew who the guy was. She started crying and saying she was sorry. I kept my cool. I explained that the next few minutes were very important and if she didn't tell me the complete truth, then there would be severe consequences. She said she started flirting with her co-worker and that he was having marital issues and it turned into flirting. She said she never did anything with this guy. My fear was she would only admit to what I already knew. I told her that if she can't give me the entire truth, that she needed to pack a bag and leave. She agreed to do that, as she cried and said she was sorry. Before she left the house, she asked if I was going to leave her. I told her that it was late, and we would discuss that later. She left for her mum's house and I haven't seen her since, but she was blowing up my phone, so I turned it off. My plan is to try to find a marriage counsellor and make an appointment. I want my wife to think I want to work things out for a while until then, when I will explain that I am at counselling to get walked through the process of splitting up. This entire incident last night was something I had planned out in my head. Since I was pretending to wrestle with her and tickling her, I wanted to cover myself. So I recorded everything with my phone, just in case she tried to accuse me of something. I asked my friend if me recording in our state was legal, and he said it was. I don't think she would ever falsely accuse me of anything, but if I am leaving her, she might get desperate. I am 6'4" and an athletic 240 pounds. I am also an ex-fighter and now train fighters. So if there is any accusation of abuse, I will not be believed, and I will get arrested and lose my kids. So my plan is to record everything from here on out, just as an insurance policy. I am completely heartbroken right now. My entire family has been blown up. I will miss 50% of my kids' lives growing up and feel destroyed. I had suspected something, but am still in shock. The worst part is that this is all just beginning. I want to confront the other guy, but will need to restrain myself. I was told that he said I looked terrifying when he first saw me, so I would like to scare him. I also saw that he referred to me as the animal in one of his texts, after she made a comment about me not being too bright. I don't make much money or have a college degree, but I am an intellectually curious person and read lots of books about all sorts of topics. I am not the smartest guy, but I feel like I am not stupid. I would try to update as things go on. Not sure what advice I can get at this point. I am just devastated. Update 3. I found a lawyer who specializes in family law and has personal experience with infidelity cases. My wife eventually admitted the affair turned physical and coincided with her shutting down intimacy with me. I'm devastated, but trying to focus on my kids and work. Many people have offered support, and friends are trying to set me up with new women, but I'm not ready to date yet. I recorded my interactions with my wife for legal protection. I'm struggling to concentrate on my usual interests and feel a mix of anger and sadness. I'm trying to stay strong for my kids. Update 4. I filed for divorce and it should finalise next month. We'll have 50-50 custody and she'll pay spousal support. My wife seems to be in a downward spiral, drinking and dating randomly. She occasionally begs to come back, but I've remained firm. My kids are struggling to understand and I'm often lonely. A coffee shop worker even noticed my sadness. Friends have suggested dating, but I'm hesitant due to my recent experiences. I shared evidence of the affair with a co-worker's wife, causing issues in their marriage. I'm interested in a younger woman, but unsure about pursuing it. I'm trying to focus on my kids and work through my emotions. Final update. Long story short, I found out my wife was cheating on me with a co-worker. Then I divorced her. I was with her for about 15 years in total, so to say my new life has been an adjustment would be an understatement. I do have moments where I feel a sense of sadness or loss, but those are fleeting. For the most part, I feel great. My kids are doing well, and they are with me a lot. One of the things that happened after the divorce was my wife had to take in more accounts at work to pay for her new single living situation, as well as spousal support to me. She earned a lot more than me. When the pandemic hit, I had a very flexible schedule, so I was able to keep the kids with me and do homeschooling. Since my job involved physical contact with other people, the pandemic has slowed that down. Not a lot of opportunities for my guys right now. So, in a way, it has been like I am a stay-at-home dad. I took some time to myself after the whole ordeal. The younger girl I was interested in took a long assignment with her company in Europe. We stayed in touch through technology. After her assignment ended, she came back and we have been together ever since. She loves me and my kids. She is an extremely compassionate and considerate person. Before we were introduced, I was told that there was an amazing woman that resembled Wonder Woman and was the nicest person you could ever meet. I thought it was too good to be true, but she is absolutely the real deal. I think there will probably be some next steps in our relationship coming soon. Things for my ex have not really worked out. She started drinking and hooking up with random guys she met online. Having to take more accounts has also taken a toll on her. Just in the last few years, she looks like she has aged 15 years. She was always pretty, but the last time I saw her, she looked ragged, like her life force was depleted. A weird thing to say, but that's what it looked like. Her best friend told me that she is miserable and hard to be around. I don't think I will ever understand how a person that is seemingly happy and in control of their life can spiral into such a dark place. My ex's friend did also tell me that she never thought I would leave her after the affair. I think she felt a sense of control over me because of her high income. So the affair had consequences that she didn't anticipate. I do hope she finds peace for my kids' sake. Other than some challenges due to the pandemic, things are great. I am so glad I immediately ended my first marriage rather than dragging it out. I knew I was making the difficult decision, but that it was the right thing to do. Then I just grinded along. I have no problem inching a little forward every day, knowing eventually I will get through. If you are in this situation, you need to think about things in the long term. You might feel devastated at first, then sad, then depressed, then hopeless. But no matter what, you push ahead. Work out hard every day too. The key is to try to do one thing every day that improves you or adds to your skill set. Not self-help stuff, but real skills. I got into making short films of the guys I train and learned about videography and editing, which has been a fun hobby. I read more books to learn about all sorts of things. I just try to do something every day. Small things add up over time. You just need to make sure you're putting in the work and let yourself be patient. That's all for today. If you enjoyed this story, please like the video and share your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you.